Hello, welcome to Pop Along RC. I'm Carl, and today I am here at Stevenage Indoor Raceway. I think that's right. Anyway, I have got my truck, so I'm going to run my TT01 truck. But recently, we got hold of an entry-level radio by Rlaarlo. So this is a brand new radio that we're going to test out today. So I'm going to pop this in that car, and let's see how we get on. Get these stuck in here. That's the fan. I've got a transponder. Stick the transponder in there. There we go. So, as you can see, we've got an 8-channel receiver, so I've still got loads of room. So if I want to have a second fan over my ESC, if I wanted a gyro, depending on what I'm doing with the car, or if it's a drift car, you want some lights, chuck them in there. So that now should, let me just test. Excellent, that's really nice. Feels good. So what I need to do now is set up the trim and get this car on the track.
Right, what's your first thoughts? What are you thinking?
I'm really impressed. Like, on the desk, the feel of it, just the brake response as well is really nice. So
I guess the proof will be when you race, right?
Yeah, and say the thing that you worry about when you get cheap radios, whether you get brownout or you lose reception.
Nothing worse than a brownout.
There's nothing worse than a
brownout.
Yeah, so hopefully if it like lasts the race and I don't get any issues with the actual the frequency and the connection, I'll tell you, I can't see anything wrong with it. The setup's been really easy. I've just trimmed up the front wheels. What I've done actually, so you've got the fine tune, but I've done the range. So if you click on here, as you can see for channel 1, I've already reduced the endpoints for the steering because they were set to 100%, which meant the steering went a little bit too far. You want to take it when you set this up as well.
It's normally EPA in it on some radios, but it's actually range on that.
Channel range on this.
Just
so
slightly
they
different.
have got some different little languages there.
Right.
I've not yet found Expo on here, but I'm going to keep looking and see if I can find it for later.
Fair enough.
But in the meantime, I'm just going to have to run it as it is. But do you know what? Looking forward to this.
Do you know what? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You're going to lose?
Probably, but I've got a safety car out after me.
Oh
the
no, I
medical
saw
car.
that. Look at that. Flashing lights. It's all going on.
It's all going on.
I reckon that's more aero though. I think
Cannonball Run.
Oh, is it? The Cannonball
Reynolds
Run?
ambulance and the
Beauty.
British version.
Yeah.
First out with that, the Rlaarlo radio. What do you think?
Well, I think there's 20 trucks today.
Yep.
First time out with the radio. I didn't even really true it up other than just sitting here. P2.
So for the people that don't know what P2 means, what does that mean?
Second place, boss.
There you go.
Second place. And I say, I've literally plugged it in.
You just threw it in, didn't you?
And took it out. And it feels really nice. I think steering wise was really quite sensitive, but that was mainly because I think I just need to dial down the endpoints on it, and it's got all the settings in the thing. Do you know what? This is it's going to become my sort of second go-to radio, because obviously you've got an expensive radio for the big races, but having one of those in your kit bag as just a backup, 30 quid, can't really go wrong, can you? That is amazing.
That's the introductory offer, ain't it? I don't know when that ends.
Yeah,
it works out
I think it still only goes up to like 50 quid max, but I am going to run this. I'm going to keep that in the truck. That's the truck radio.
Yeah,
now.
well, you've learned it now, so may as well.
Dial it in as the day goes on, but first round, second place. Will I stay there? Who knows? It's going to be a good day's racing, though.
So how's it going then? How is your...
Do you know what? I'm absolutely loving the Tamiya truck. It's the best car in the world. I'm loving it. I'm currently second in trucks. So I was third after the first round once everyone had a go. But I'm now up to second, 25 laps with a Tamiya truck. Last round of touring cars, I only did 23 laps with this thing. It was absolute carnage out there. I was hit a few times and I ended up touching the barrier, but I've got no reverse, so I had to wait for marshals, whereas it looks like several of the guys here, they actually run reverse in touring cars, so they can just self-marshal almost, but is what it is.
Is what it is.
When I booked in for the trucks. That's what I wanted to do, and this was a bit of an afterthought, and you know what? I'm having a great day. Okay, so far so good. The radio is holding up really nicely, and do you know what? The car's actually been really pleasant to drive. In the first round of qualifying, the back end was a little bit slidey on the car, but that's because there was no additive down on the track, and grips are always low in the first outing. However, as we went through the day, the grip got better and better and better. Many people were suffering with grip roll, but this truck was absolutely planted. I had to, as I say, dial down the endpoints on the steering. Because obviously if you oversteer, you can sort of catch an edge and flip the van over. So I had dialed down the steering on the radio, and I just left it at that. I haven't played around with Expo or anything. The radio didn't give me any issues during the races at all, so I'm really pleased with that. On to the finals. So I qualified second, and that meant I started second on the grid in both finals. And do you know what? Each final had its own set of obstacles, shall we say. They didn't run quite to plan. I mean, it would have been nice to sort of get out and stay out in front, but that wasn't the case. I was not the fastest truck in the race. As many of you know, I am known as driving Miss Daisy, which means I tend to pride myself on a little bit of consistency and slightly slower lap times. However, I could not do that in the trucks because both Ben and Nathan were on fire. They were rapid, so therefore I had to push a little bit harder to keep myself out in front of them. The only problem is when you push, you're right on the edge and on the limits of what these trucks are capable of. And yeah, I made just a couple of mistakes. And in the trucks, with the competition being as tight as it was, yeah, one mistake was the difference between first and third. Though, what I loved about the trucks, though, is that there were many people of very similar ability. So therefore, it just made for some really close racing. And there were some interesting techniques of overtaking. Some of them were slightly more clinical than others. But overall, it was just the most fun I've had at a race event. The Indoor Raceway Stevenage, they host these amazing events every sort of, I think it's twice a year they're doing. However, we did have a chat with them yesterday, and we are looking at running a pop-along GP here at Indoor Raceway. So hopefully we'll have something to share in 2024, and we'll be holding a few more events. So there's a few clubs that have spoke to us about it, and a few more that I know might be interested. So 2024 looks to be an exciting year. As far as the trucks go, the most fun class to race, no question. And as far as the radio goes, for the money, if you can get it on the introductory offer, it works out about £30 in the UK, and it's worth every single penny. I mean, oh yeah, it was a really nice radio, really easy to use, and yeah, I look forward to running it again in the future. If you haven't done already, like, subscribe, hit the old ding dong bell, and we will see you soon.